Intelligence type with astrology case study, Natalie. Natalie's ascendant in Rohini Taurus creates a personality infused with aesthetic, emotional, and interpersonal intelligence. Rohini, ruled by the moon, is sensuous, creative, and nurturing, suggesting that Natalie learns through beauty, feeling, and harmonious embodiment. This rising sign emphasizes a tangible, emotionally anchored intelligence where sensory perception and artistic refinement guide her values, self-expression, and presence in the world. In the first house, Jupiter in Mrigashira and Rahu in Rohini shape a rich combination of intrapersonal, bodily kinesthetic, and existential intelligence. Jupiter contributes wisdom, ethical perspective, and intuitive discernment, reinforcing a strong sense of internal guidance and moral clarity. Mrigashira's curiosity adds cognitive flexibility and exploratory depth, which enhances Natalie's learning through layered perception and symbolic association. Rahu in Rohini introduces a potent drive for aesthetic mastery and emotional recognition. She is drawn to understanding herself and the world through pattern, beauty, and emotional resonance. Her sun in Ashlisha in the third house reflects sharp linguistic and emotional intelligence, emphasizing strategic communication, intuition, and interpersonal nuance. Ashlisha's serpentine symbolism adds depth and mystery to her voice, suggesting she may be naturally adept at reading subtext, writing with psychological precision, or leading through quiet persuasion. This placement helps her internalize emotional detail and reframe it as narrative or insight, useful in teaching, media, or psychological discourse. The fourth house hosts Mercury in Magha and Venus in Purva Falguni, combining musical, visual spatial, and emotional intelligence in the private emotional landscape. Mercury in Magha contributes ancestral wisdom, oratory skill, and a dignified thought process. Venus in Purva Falguni adds joy, style, and emotional creativity to her inner world. Together, these placements suggest she finds inner harmony through expressive arts, aesthetic space design, and emotional reflection, often connecting with others through beauty, storytelling, and shared emotional experience. In the fifth house, Mars in Chitra fuels bodily kinesthetic and creative intelligence with precision and flair. Chitra offers artistic brilliance and perfectionist tendencies, pointing to Natalie's ability to act decisively in her creative pursuits. Whether in performance, design, or active mentorship, she learns and communicates best through action, beauty, and structural clarity. Her intelligence here is dynamic, able to sculpt form from inspiration and turn emotional energy into refined creation. Her moon in Chitra in the sixth house sharpens her emotional and task-oriented intelligence through routine, wellness, and service. Chitra in this house gives her the capacity to create order from complexity, especially in emotionally demanding or service-focused environments. This placement suggests she processes feelings through daily work and structured action, ideal for healing professions, therapeutic support roles, or design-based wellness fields where balance and beauty meet routine. Finally, Ketu in Jyeshta in the seventh house channels existential and interpersonal intelligence through partnership dynamics. Jyeshta's intensity and mastery indicate a high sensitivity to power, loyalty, and trust in close relationships. Ketu brings detachment and intuitive wisdom, hinting that Natalie's intelligence in this realm is soul-driven. She learns about herself and others through deep relational experiences, often serving as a mirror or emotional guide for those she partners with. Natalie's chart reveals an intelligence constellation grounded in beauty, rhythm, insight, and sensitivity. She is designed to learn through sensation, love through depth, and lead through elegant articulation. Whether through the arts, emotional healing, communication, or design, her inner and outer intelligence work in tandem, elevating form through feeling and wisdom through aesthetic truth. Career based on intelligence for Natalie, Natalie's Taurus ascendant in Rohini sets the tone for a career built on sensory awareness, emotional attunement, and aesthetic intelligence. Rohini's lunar rulership gives her a magnetic, creative presence, while Taurus provides the grounding needed to channel her expressive gifts into tangible form. With strong capacities in musical, emotional, visual spatial, bodily kinesthetic, and existential intelligence, she is ideally suited for work that blends art, healing, design, communication, and inner growth, all expressed through refinement, structure, and resonance. In the first house, Jupiter in Megashira and Rahu in Rohini give Natalie a powerful combination of intrapersonal and existential intelligence, with an insatiable curiosity to seek meaning, evolve, and shape beauty from experience. These placements point toward vocations in aesthetic-based mentorship, intuitive education, spiritual entrepreneurship, or purpose-driven consulting, where she brings grace, emotional wisdom, and an eye for detail. She may feel most fulfilled when guiding others through transitions, whether emotional, creative, or professional. Her sun in Ashlesha, in the third house, enhances her linguistic and interpersonal intelligence, particularly in subtle, psychologically oriented communication. She could excel in emotional writing, narrative therapy, personal branding, or strategic guidance, especially in fields where the emotional subtext matters as much as the message itself. Ashlesha's transformative tone gives her a unique voice, one capable of unraveling old emotional narratives and reframing them with depth and clarity. Natalie's Mercury in Maga and Venus in Purva Falguni in the fourth house elevate her career potential in areas involving interior design, emotionally intelligent education, storytelling, or sacred arts. She has the instinct to create harmony in physical and emotional spaces alike. Mercury brings leadership and communication, while Venus bestows natural charm and artistic taste, together making her a strong candidate for careers in creative direction, healing aesthetics, or family-centered emotional coaching. With Mars and Chitra in the fifth house, she holds bodily kinesthetic and creative intelligence that supports impactful expression through art, design, movement, or performance. She could be drawn to fields like fashion, choreography, fitness with aesthetic form, or emotionally charged performance work. Her action style is precise, instinctual, and emotionally calibrated, giving her strength in positions where creativity must be both structured and inspired. Her moon in Chitra in the sixth house gives her an emotional intelligence that functions especially well in service, wellness, and refinement of systems. She may be effective in client-focused therapeutic work, holistic health routines, aesthetic wellness coaching, or emotional organizing roles. The moon here allows her to process and manage emotional complexity through clear structure and rhythm, making her invaluable in spaces where care, discipline, and empathy converge. Finally, Ketu in Jeshta in the seventh house positions her for transformational insight within relationships and professional partnerships. This supports career paths in relationship counseling, intuitive facilitation, trauma repair work, or deep transformational collaborations, especially in private or healing-focused industries. Her wisdom in this area is often nonverbal, a knowing that others trust, even if they don't fully understand it. Altogether, Natalie's career path is best defined by emotional refinement, beauty and function, and depth with grace. Whether through creating, guiding, or holding space, she thrives in roles that allow her to integrate form with feeling, intellect with soul, and routine with resonance. Her success lies not in aggressive ambition, but in her ability to elevate through texture, tone, and timing whatever space or person she chooses to nurture. Intelligence type with astrology case study, Natalia. Natalia's ascendant in Purva Falguni defines a radiant, expressive, and relationally attuned personality. This nakshatra brings creative magnetism and a desire to share life's pleasures, while Leo contributes dignity, individuality, and a natural flair for performance or leadership. These qualities suggest strong interpersonal, musical, and aesthetic intelligence. Natalia likely learns and leads through presence, beauty, and emotionally attuned expression. Her psyche is wired to create warmth and connection while seeking a deeper sense of significance in all she does. Her moon in Rohini, Taurus, in the 10th house intensifies this blend with emotional, naturalist, and visual spatial intelligence, deeply rooted in public roles and career identity. Rohini's sensual, nurturing nature and Taurus's stability give Natalia a magnetic presence in professional life, ideal for roles where beauty, refinement, and emotional attunement are assets. Her career path may involve food, fashion, media, or anything where aesthetic sensibility, emotional awareness, and care influence perception and success. In the 6th house, Natalia hosts a triad of Mars and Rahu in Shravana and Saturn in Uttara Ashada, activating powerful bodily kinesthetic, logical mathematical, and existential intelligence in the realm of daily routines, problem solving, and health. Mars with Rahu sharpens her task-focused and sensory learning. She may thrive in environments requiring rapid decision-making, multitasking, or intense strategy under pressure. Saturn's presence adds structure and discipline, while Shravana lends narrative and symbolic thinking, making her skilled at decoding complex systems or teaching grounded wisdom in high-pressure settings. Her Venus in Dhanishta, Aquarius, in the 7th house, reveals musical, interpersonal, and aesthetic intelligence applied to relationships, partnerships, and shared projects. Janishta brings rhythm, leadership, and generosity. Natalia likely values harmony, creativity, and shared progress in her partnerships. She could excel in collaborative design, coaching, or art-based business ventures where balance and refinement are essential. This placement makes her a connector, gifted in creating resonance in both romantic and professional pairings. In the 8th house, Sun and Mercury in Revati, Pisces, highlight existential, linguistic, and musical intelligence in areas of transformation, research, and deeper knowledge. Revati adds mysticism, refinement, and visionary compassion. Natalia likely processes life through metaphor, spiritual symbolism, and poetic reflection, suited for roles in healing, education, or conscious communication. Her intelligence is layered. She speaks from soul and listens through vibration, translating complex truths into accessible, emotionally resonant language. Jupiter in Ardra, Gemini, in the 11th house supports analytical and philosophical intelligence in social systems, long-term goals, and visionary networks. Ardra's sharp, restless drive gives Natalia the ability to restructure ideas, reform ideals, and lead others through phases of crisis or change. Her mind is deeply investigative, ideal for thought leadership, social commentary, innovation, or mentoring, especially where digital platforms or large networks are involved. Finally, Ketu in Ashlesha, Cancer, in the 12th house, deepens her existential and emotional intelligence in hidden, spiritual, or subconscious realms. This placement often grants intuitive healing capacity, insight into emotional undercurrents, and an instinct for transformation through emotional complexity. Natalia may have innate skill in energy healing, depth psychology, or spiritual practice, where her perceptiveness and nonverbal sensitivity can gently unwind the unseen. Overall, Natalia's intelligence profile reveals a synthesis of emotional depth, symbolic language, kinesthetic clarity, and interpersonal magnetism. She learns and teaches through both beauty and truth, guided by empathy and a need to elevate her surroundings. Whether through performance, healing, education, or partnership, her natural intelligences form a web of support, linking head, heart, and spirit in purposeful expression. Career based on intelligence for Natalia. Natalia's Leo ascendant in Purva Falguni frames a career built on creative visibility, aesthetic command, and emotionally intelligent connection. This nakshatra combines artistic flair with relational grace, pointing her toward professions that blend beauty, expression, and soul-aligned leadership. With dominant intelligences in the interpersonal, musical, aesthetic, emotional, and existential realms, Natalia is uniquely suited to roles where image, story, rhythm, and deep emotional tone intersect, especially in service of healing, transformation, or cultural refinement. Her moon in Rohini, in the 10th house of career, brings naturalist and visual spatial intelligence into the public sphere. Rohini, one of the most sensual and creative nakshatras, equips her with the ability to shape environments, experiences, or messages that comfort and inspire. Natalia is likely to thrive in professions involving design, wellness branding, media arts, or holistic beauty, especially where she can infuse emotional richness into structure and elegance into function. The 6th house triad, Mars and Rahu in Shravana, and Saturn in Uttara Ashada, energizes her with bodily kinesthetic, narrative, and systemic intelligence for daily execution and problem solving. Natalia excels in demanding work environments, project-based roles, or movement-oriented professions that call for discipline and emotional clarity. This setup supports careers in wellness strategy, somatic coaching, ethical systems building, or content creation with a structured, emotionally intelligent voice. Her rhythm is both assertive and wise, capable of action and restraint when needed. Venus in Dhanishta in the 7th house gives her charisma in partnerships and collaboration, blending musical and interpersonal intelligence with a flair for public-facing leadership. She may shine in careers involving event coordination, high-end consulting, collaborative design, or media-based diplomacy, where rhythm, timing, and aesthetic presence are central. Dhanishta also suggests she works best when part of a dynamic team or performance duo, creating harmony while leading with confidence. In the 8th house, Sun and Mercury in Revati provide depth in existential and linguistic intelligence, guiding her toward transformative professions where healing, symbolism, or narrative mastery are vital. This supports work in therapeutic writing, spiritual education, intuitive coaching, or metaphysical storytelling, especially where she helps others navigate change or reconcile emotional complexity through refined communication. Revati's influence ensures her voice carries compassion, structure, and soul-based clarity. Jupiter in Ardra in the 11th house lends analytical and philosophical intelligence to her role within social systems and collective goals. Ardra adds bold, reformative energy, making Natalia well-suited to visionary leadership, conscious entrepreneurship, or digital activism, particularly where trauma, renewal, or emotional truth are central themes. She likely influences networks not just through content, but through emotional resonance and strategic clarity. Ketu in Ashlesha in the 12th house gives her a hidden gift for emotional unraveling and energetic discernment, ideal for roles in energy work, dream guidance, emotional detox practices, or behind-the-scenes creative production. She learns from what's unspoken, felt, and symbolic, making her an asset in spaces that require subtle transformation and compassionate retreat. Altogether, Natalia is here to move, beautify, and transform, using her intelligence to elevate both people and systems with grace, emotion, and truth. Her most aligned careers are those that allow her to weave art with healing, structure with soul, and expression with impact, whether through words, movement, rhythm, or emotional design. Her presence carries clarity and magnetism, and her purpose is not just to succeed, but to soften, elevate, and lead through resonance. Intelligence type with astrology case study. Richard's ascendant in Anuradha Scorpio shapes a personality grounded in emotional depth, loyalty, and focused intensity. Anuradha grants him a steady, inwardly committed disposition marked by interpersonal and existential intelligence, the ability to form deep connections and understand emotional dynamics beneath the surface. With Scorpio's transformative lens, Richard likely learns through crisis, depth, and loyalty, making him someone who develops mastery through emotional commitment, inner discipline. His moon in Uttara Bhadrapada, Pisces, in the 5th house adds strong interpersonal and emotional intelligence, especially in the realm of creativity, learning, and emotional memory. Uttara Bhadrapada, a spiritually grounded nakshatra, lends Richard the ability to integrate deep feeling into creative expression. His learning is rooted in reflection and emotional tone, ideal for work involving education, healing, or imagination. He likely understands abstract emotional patterns intuitively and can use this in both artistic and mentoring roles. Mars in Shatabisha Aquarius in the 4th house energizes his emotional and domestic space with logical, mathematical, and bodily kinesthetic intelligence. This placement gives him the ability to act precisely and objectively in emotional or communal environments. Mars in Shatabisha brings a reformer's edge. He may feel called to reorganize family systems, emotional patterns, or even physical spaces for improved function or clarity. His learning style involves using action and logic to process internal emotions. In the 6th house, Rahu in Kritika, Aries, activates bodily kinesthetic and task-oriented intelligence in everyday problem-solving. This nakshatra offers sharp will and strategic focus. Richard likely approaches routines and challenges through direct action and intuitive problem-solving, thriving in high-pressure or competitive settings. His ability to cut through obstacles with clarity and initiative makes him well-suited for dynamic work that demands fast thinking and physical engagement. His Jupiter in Purva Falguni, Leo, in the 10th house of career brings intrapersonal and visual spatial intelligence into leadership and public contribution. Purva Falguni adds charm, charisma, and aesthetic intelligence. This makes Richard ideally suited for careers involving performance, leadership, or aesthetic management, especially where generosity, ethics, and pleasure can merge. His sense of purpose in public life comes from inspiring others and expressing internal values through visible forms. In the 11th house, both Sun and Mercury in Hasta Virgo point to pronounced linguistic, interpersonal, and emotional intelligence in community and goal-oriented settings. Hasta's craftsmanship and humor provide Richard with the ability to connect socially through precise communication, clever insight, and supportive dialogue. His ability to read social patterns and refine group strategies makes him an effective leader, team organizer, or voice in collaborative circles, particularly through written or verbal channels. Finally, Ketu in Vishaka and Venus in Chitra, both in the 12th house, create a subtle fusion of existential, visual spatial, and musical intelligence in spiritual, psychological, and subconscious realms. Vishaka's goal-driven clarity paired with Ketu's detachment suggests that Richard learns by surrendering ego-driven outcomes and instead focusing on deeper truth and impact. Chitra adds elegance and symbolic design. He may excel in creative spiritual work, dream interpretation, or inner systems navigation where form meets soul. Altogether, Richard's intelligence profile is dynamic and richly layered. He learns through emotion, form, rhythm, action, and symbolic meaning. His path is shaped by transformation, creative alignment, and emotional depth. Whether guiding, teaching, leading, or healing, Richard is most fulfilled when he engages in work that allows him to express his inner clarity through outer creativity, social insight, and soulful dedication. Career based on intelligence for Richard. Richard's Scorpio ascendant in Anurada, with its depth, loyalty, and emotional precision, frames a career path built on purposeful connection, strategic presence, and transformative service. His strongest intelligences: interpersonal, intrapersonal, existential, linguistic, and bodily kinesthetic, align with professions that demand emotional clarity, symbolic thinking, and grounded leadership. He is most effective in roles where his inner intensity can translate into visible, structured, and impactful contribution. His moon in Uttara Bhadrapada in the 5th house supports careers in mentorship, spiritual education, therapeutic creativity, or emotional coaching. This placement strengthens his intrapersonal and emotional intelligence, giving him the ability to guide others through deeply personal or transformative material. He may thrive in environments that require steady emotional holding, such as grief work, soul-centered teaching, or imaginative education with a spiritual or symbolic edge. Mars in Shatabisha in the 4th house grounds his action in clarity and reform. This placement energizes his logical and kinesthetic intelligence, making him particularly well-suited to emotional system repair, crisis mediation, or reform-based leadership in domestic, therapeutic, or community-oriented settings. Mars in this air nakshatra allows him to operate objectively in emotionally charged environments. He can cut through confusion with action grounded in care and structure. Rahu in Kritika in the 6th house sharpens his bodily kinesthetic and competitive intelligence in daily work and service. He may be drawn to professions involving strategic intervention, performance under pressure, or high-efficiency execution, especially in contexts like coaching, somatic therapy, emergency services, or systems-based healing. This placement empowers him to lead through quick decision-making, precise action, and intense dedication to improvement. In the 10th house, Jupiter in Purva Falguni gives him a charismatic and generous public presence. This activates his intrapersonal and aesthetic intelligence in roles that allow him to lead through creative inspiration, ethical visibility, or values-centered leadership. He may excel in public roles tied to performance, branding, hospitality, or spiritual guidance, particularly where his natural warmth and intuitive leadership bring people together with style and purpose. His 11th house placements, Sun and Mercury in Hasta, further enhance his linguistic and interpersonal intelligence in social and collaborative work. Richard may be highly effective in communications, team strategy, or relationship-based consulting, especially when precision, trust, and humor are required. These placements support careers in editorial work, public relations, emotional intelligence training, or group facilitation, where his gift for articulation meets group process. In the 12th house, Ketu in Vishaka and Venus in Chitra suggest a subtle yet profound existential and symbolic intelligence best expressed in artistic, spiritual, or behind-the-scenes domains. He may be drawn to careers in symbolic design, aesthetic healing, dream work, or esoteric consulting, where deeper patterns are revealed through image, space, or archetype. His ability to translate subconscious complexity into visible, meaningful form gives him an edge in professions that blend structure and soul. Altogether, Richard's career is best built around emotional mastery, structured creativity, and precise service. Whether teaching, designing, healing, or guiding, he brings an unmistakable presence, one that leads from the heart, works through clarity, and serves through transformation. His ideal path honors depth, beauty, and truth, and allows him to offer others not just guidance, but a map for meaningful growth.